Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Crimes, Killers, Cults,
and Beer.
And beer. Boy, we had fun with our episode that we recorded last night for the other podcast, which is Bill and Todd's Excellent Digression. You should go check that one out if you're into science fiction. We did episode 6 of Star Trek Picard, and we had a blast doing it.
Yes, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And then tomorrow, we're doing this one now, and then tomorrow we're going to be finally finishing up Book of Boba Fett on Bill and Todd's Excellent Digression, so that we can, get that out of the way and finally move on to, the plethora of TV series that are coming our way.
Right. There's a bunch.
Yeah, there's a bunch coming, so we need to be done with Boba Fett by the time that stuff starts happening. Now it looks like we're going to be able to.
Yes.
So we kept y'all in the dark about our topic for this week on Crimes, Killers, Cults, and Beer. And we did that for a reason. We did that because we didn't want some other podcast listening to our last one, hearing about this guy and beating us to the punch.
Yep.
So, because I looked, there are no other true crime podcasts about this person in particular. So I was like, okay, that is ours. That's ours.
We're going to be the first.
Yep. You'll find stuff about him on YouTube, but no podcast. And there's no mention of the only thing on TV about him. There was this documentary that was done, and I'll get into the documentary. The information in the documentary was good, but how they put it together was hilarious. But we'll get to that shortly.
Right.
Anyway, the person that we're covering is William Cruse. He was a spree killer. This happened like right where we're from, in Palm Bay, Florida. It's just about 30 minutes away from where Todd lives, and it was about 15 minutes away from where I lived at the time. So
close to home.
Yep, very close to home. And on April 23rd of 1987, he went on a shooting rampage across, starting at one shopping center and going to another one, and he killed 6 people, and he injured 14 more. And this was at a Kmart at a Winn-Dixie shopping center in Palm Bay. And I've been to both shopping centers. And for the longest time, there were still bullet holes in the plate glass windows of the store. Yeah, wow. For the longest time, I'm not sure when they replaced the glass, but the bullet holes were still there for a long time. And it was crazy. I mean, I can remember when it happening. It was all about TV. It was all over TV, local TV, and then it went national. And I can remember I had a relative who was actually trying to get home, so that they lived in Palm Bay, and they actually had to go, take a long detour because they had that whole intersection. It's a big intersection. It's Palm Bay Road and Babcock.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a huge intersection. So, they had to take a long way around. And no need to go in their exact route or whatever, but just know that intersection is a very busy intersection. If he had gone out into the street, he could have done a lot more damage.
Oh,
a lot more. He could have just started taking pot shots at cars and everything. And yeah, this guy's a piece of shit.
Yes, he is, or was.
So, anyway. The documentary that I mentioned. I mean, there's no. I mean, there's not really a lot of information on his early life or anything like that. There's not a lot. And he was born on November 21st, 1927 in Irvine, Kentucky. The victims, we're just going to name them all right here, right now, because, yeah, like I said, the information is sketchy at best on how it went down. So we're just going to name the victims and go that way. And if my papers would cooperate with me, it would be good. So the victims were Nabul Abdul Al-Hameli, a 25-year-old Somalian exchange student. Imad Mohammed Al-Tawakkuli. And you know what? I apologize if I'm butchering these names, but I'm doing the best that I can with them because they're, let's just be honest. Americans' brains aren't geared to read names like that. But I'm doing the best that I can out of respect for the victims.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The second guy, Imad Mohammed Al-Tawakkuli. He was 18 years old, another Somalian exchange student. Just there at Winn-Dixie or Kmart or whatever, just doing some shopping. There was a police officer, Gerald Johnson. He was 28. And there was another police officer, Ronald Grogan, 27. Ruth Green, a 67-year-old grandmother. Lester Watson, 51. And then, like I said, there was 14 other that were injured. Their names aren't really listed because, well, they survived. The other people didn't. So, William Cruse, he was a retired librarian. He was seriously mentally ill. He was delusional and paranoid. And he had issues. He was just going down the drain and everything. He was very, very anti-gay. And for some reason, and I think he might have been in the closet because he was just deathly afraid of people thinking that he was gay. So he may have been in the closet. That's just speculation on my part. But generally, if you're trying to yell at me, "Oh, you calling me gay? You calling me gay?" Usually there's other issues going on there. It's like, okay, nobody called you gay, Will.
Yeah, right? Just relax.
Yeah, just chill out. I'm calling him, get off my lawn. Because he was always yelling at his neighbors and everything. Even if they weren't on his lawn, he was like, he would literally yell, "Get off my lawn." He was, it's just, there was something wrong with him. The guy needed help. But one thing I want to make really clear about this podcast is, mental illness sucks. And anybody that has some sort of mental illness needs to get help, needs to get it treated so that they don't go off the deep end and something like that happens. But you know what? And this was also back in the 80s, so it was more about institutionalizing people at the time rather than just helping them. So I have empathy for people who have mental illness and everything. But if you get to the point and you let it go far enough to where you go out and you do something like this, you go on a spree, or you become a serial killer or a serial rapist or something, or anything like that, because of your untreated mental illness, I got no sympathy for you. That goes with anybody. That goes with William Cruse. That goes with anybody else that we're going to cover on here. Like for example, the serial killers that started off in like really, really, really shitty childhoods. You feel bad for the child, but you don't feel bad for the adult. And that's pretty much going to be a staple with this podcast. I'm not going to give William Cruse or anybody else a pass because they had mental issues. There's ways to get help, and even back then there were ways to get help. Not as good as they are now, but there were ways to get help back then. Okay. Yeah. Now I'm gonna climb off of my soapbox there.
Right on.
Yeah, he would just yell at neighbors as they were coming down the street. I ain't gay. Stay off my lawn. Not on your lawn. So, but the kids, the neighborhood kids, the teenagers and whatnot, they did what kids do. They taunted the guy, and they actually did start coming onto his property. So he started yelling. He would never like try and go like physically, move some of these kids off. He would just shoot guns into the air. Get off my lawn! I ain't gay. I'm William Cruse and I ain't gay. I don't know what he sounded like. This is just how I imagine him sounding. But he would come into, and this is all leading up to the day that he snapped. So I mean, when he would go into like we mentioned, the Kmart and the Winn-Dixie, he was just completely positive that the clerks were all gossiping about him and calling him gay. In April of 1987, a couple weeks before his spree, two neighborhood kids accused him of making obscene gestures and sexually provocative gestures at them. He was taken in for questioning, and he said that they stuck their tongues out at him, and that apparently thought that they were calling him a queen. Oh. But do you see what I'm saying? I really think that this guy he might have been in the closet. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's possible. I mean, who knows?
See, I didn't know anything about this until I started researching it.
Yeah? No, I never heard anything about this either.
Yeah, all I know is what happened and what happened, and just the story of his actual rampage it's intense. So, yeah. And that's why we chose him. And coming up with this other information about him possibly being a closet homosexual, then, either that or just totally paranoid about it. But nobody's come forward saying that they were involved in a gay relationship with him.
Yeah.
So you would think that if that was the case, then they would.
I guess if he was a homophobe, and mentally ill or whatever, a big part of that would be like, dude, do not confuse me with the people that I hate. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Could be. I mean, like I said before, he had mental issues that needed to be taken care of. He should have gotten them taken care of. Yeah, but sometimes, even if the options are there, you have to want to take the options.
Right.
If you don't want to get help, there's no helping you. That's all there is to it.
And that makes you even more of a dirtbag when you go and do something like this. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, I agree. But anyway.
My sources on this were Amok Fandom and Murderpedia. That's basically where I got the majority of them. Now, this documentary, I didn't write the name down on it. I forgot to. But if you want to, I think it's on Amazon Prime. I think. Yeah, you just type in William Cruse, you'll find it. And if it's not there, then maybe it's on YouTube. I can't remember. It's actually been a while since I watched that. But the funny thing about it is, the information in that video is really good. Especially, they go into, excruciating detail about his siege, his spree and his siege and all that stuff, which we'll get to. The information that they give is great. Now, their presentation left a lot to be desired because, for one thing, they called, and I guess they did this for copyright reasons, but they called the Winn-Dixie, they called it the Wood Ducky.
All right.
Have you ever heard of a grocery store called the Wood Ducky?
No, Piggly Wiggly maybe, but not Wood Ducky.
Piggly Wiggly, but never Wood Ducky. And WD. So I think it was a copyright issue. Maybe Kmart.
That could have been, yeah.
Kmart gave him permission. Winn-Dixie says, yeah, go ahead, but it's going to cost you. So they're like, okay, Wood Ducky. And another thing.
That's funny. I'm sorry. That's funny.
That is funny. I laughed when I can remember. I mean, I watched that video probably like 2 or 3 years ago.
I'm calling Winn-Dixie Wood Ducky from now on, dude. I'm sorry that I am, dude. That's what it is from now on.
Works for me. But on top of the Wood Ducky, they just used stock footage of some town, and it definitely wasn't Palm Bay because there were mountains in the background.
There's no mountains in Florida.
No, there might be a hill or two. That's about it.
Yeah, we do have some decent hills, but no mountains.
No mountains, and these were like, this looked like it was filmed up in like the Appalachians or something. It's just stock footage from the Appalachians.
Well, I guess they couldn't find any stock footage from Florida, or didn't even want to go take any.
I guess not.
That's really bizarre.
Yeah, they're mountains.
Well, it's like when you watch movies or TV shows that are supposed to be in Florida, and all the cars have front license plates on them because they're actually filming in California.
You mean like Dexter?
Yes, exactly like Dexter.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know if everybody knows this or not, but in Florida here, we don't have front license plates. You just have the back one.
Nope. And that's why, like, front sporting, that's why front, like, sport teams, license plate and stuff like that for the front of your car, they don't do very well in California. But they do pretty well in Florida.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's like the shot that they had would have been like if you were standing in the Kmart parking lot and looking west toward the Wood Ducky. and the mountains in the background, it's like if you drove, because they were in the background. There's nothing but swamps where those mountains would be located.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Yeah, just flat swampland full of alligators and
swamp apes,
snakes, mosquitoes the size of baseballs.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know if any of you ever been to Florida, dude. We have like prehistoric sized insects around here. I mean,
oh man,
damn, we got some big bugs in this place.
I remember years and years ago, when you were working at that gas station, I'd come in and hang out with you. There was this huge beetle walking across the parking lot.
Oh yeah.
And I ran it over with my car because it looked menacing. I ran it over with my car. This thing was easily 8 inches long and about 2 inches across.
Yeah, it was a big ass bug.
Yeah, I ran it over with my car, and I got out and I looked. It's not squashed. It's still moving around a little bit slowly, a little bit slower than it was moving before. But then it turned and started coming at me.
Yes, it knew. It knew what you tried to do to it.
I'm like, oh shit! So I jumped back in the car, put the front tire over it. And, let it sit there for a minute. And then I drove off of it, got out and looked. This thing is still coming at me. A little bit slower than it was prior, but still coming at me. It's the
Michael Malloy of bugs.
Yeah, he is. This bug was. And I don't know what kind of bug that was. To this day, I've never seen another bug like it. Another beetle like it.
We got weird bugs here. Anyway, moving on.
So then I did it again.
This isn't the digression channel, but all right. Okay, finish your story.
Yeah, then I did it again, and except this time I turned the steering wheel to grind it, and all of a sudden, I felt the freaking car start to raise up. This thing just like lifted the car off of itself, and then threw it off to the side. And then it came at me, and it's a good thing that I had a shotgun in the car because I took it out and I blasted it. And it couldn't take that. Okay, that last part didn't happen. But,
yeah.
But still, it was, that was weird, and that bug was after me.
That's the truth. That part of the story is true. The fucking throwing the car off of itself, he just made that up.
Yeah. So.
But, you know, we're storytellers too.
Yeah. Anyway, no charges were filed against William Cruse for the gunshots or for the alleged, lewd gestures and everything. So they just basically sent him home. He's shooting guns in a Palm Bay neighborhood. Palm Bay is probably one of the more populated towns. It's probably the most populated town in, as far as like people that live there in that particular county, which is Brevard County, Florida.
Yes, Brevard is probably one of the biggest, like that and Melbourne are probably the two biggest cities in Brevard County for sure.
Mm-hmm. So we're not talking about just some dirt road with 3 houses on it. We're talking about, with a street. You'll have a street that's like a mile long, and will be 200 houses on that street.
Yes, it's a major metropolitan area.
Right. I mean, it's no Miami or Orlando or anything like that, but as far as it's the biggest city in Brevard County, Florida.
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah. Next to Cocoa Beach, but Cocoa Beach is tiny.
Yeah, I think Melbourne and Palm Bay are like the two biggest cities in Brevard County. I'm just fairly certain.
Palm Bay itself is huge.
Yes, it's a big place.
But after no charges were filed on it, there was a petition that were signed by neighbors who were concerned with the dangerous activities that William Cruse was doing. I mean, he would chase kids with guns. He would threaten people. But he accused one person of costing him a job, saying that, "Oh, I'll get you for this. I'll get you for this. I ain't gay. Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn.
I'll get you." Like a male version of the Witch and Wizard of Oz. I'll get you. Except I don't think she was a lesbian, though. She liked the monkeys.
Yeah. Hey, we're the monkeys.
Hey, we're the monkeys.
People say we monkey around.
Anyway. So, they were saying that he would get him if the cops called him on this minor matter. There was no follow-up investigation needed. So, I mean, this guy's out there. So, at 6 p.m. on April 23rd, 1987, kids were taunting him, and that lit his fuse. He grabbed his 3 guns and went after them. He shot a 14-year-old who had nothing to do with the altercation. He just shot him, just shot the kid. Then he jumped his car and he headed to Publix. I have Publix. I actually had Winn-Dixie crossed out and Publix written.
Huh.
I could have sworn it was a Winn-Dixie. Oh wait, okay. There's a Winn-Dixie. There's a Winn-Dixie. There's a Winn-Dixie next to Kmart, and then across the street is the Publix.
Just the Publix. Okay.
I think. It's been a long time since I've been there, but I think that's how it is. But he drove onto the property and he's shooting at the store. A cop arrived. He just happened to be there, and William Cruse sprayed the police car with bullets, wounding the cop. And then I said earlier that it was Somali students. It was Kuwaiti.
Oh, Kuwaitis. Okay.
Yeah, he killed the 2 Kuwaiti students, and then another woman and a woman. He killed 3 right off the bat. Another officer shot at him and missed. He fired back at him and hit the cop in the leg and then finished him off. And like I said, we mentioned the names of these victims in the beginning of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the parking lot, before he went in and started his siege, as he was killing people, there was a 39-year-old mailman who was off work, and he crept to his car and he grabbed his gun and he took a couple shots at William. A cop stopped him, thinking that he was a second gunman. He was criticized later about it, but it was revealed that he actually distracted William Cruse and saved some lives. So, the hero of the day. At least they didn't try to try him with anything.
Yeah, right. I mean, see, there you go.
So he saved lives. I mean, so he and Robin Brown are actually, I said Robin Brown. It's Robin Murcha. Murcha. Then he enters the Winn-Dixie and he's shooting everybody that he saw. Police surround the store, and he took 21-year-old Robin Murcha. And he actually took 2 hostages, but he let one go. And after 6 hours, he let her go. And police had swarmed the store and arrested him. They fired tear gas into the store. And I remember all this stuff.
Yeah, I do have, like, vague kind of fuzzy memories of it all, because, I mean, geez, it was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm cursed with one of those photographic memories. I remember everything. If it was important.
I remember unimportant things. I mean, I have a head full of useless knowledge, like I'd be fucking kick-ass on Jeopardy. But, like, just normal, regular, everyday things, yeah, I barely remember what I did yesterday.
Robin Murcha. Let's talk about her. Because she was actually the hero of this. If she hadn't done what she did, more people probably would have gotten killed. Robin calmed him down. She cleaned blood off of his hands. She helped him smash the lights in the store for cover so that they wouldn't know where he was or whatever. I mean, you could have just hit a circuit breaker, but whatever. I'm not.
Yeah.
But, I mean, she was in complete and total survival mode. She was keeping him and herself alive.
Mm-hmm.
She was the one that actually talked him into finally turning himself in, and just giving up.
Right on. I mean, I don't even know, like, in a situation like that, like,
You'd like to think that you would be able to do something, but you don't know.
Yeah, you don't
know. You have no clue. You have no freaking clue. I mean, like, oh, we can be a badass guy, or oh yeah, I would have jumped him and blah blah. You don't know that.
I'd have gone all Bruce Willis on his ass and die-harded him, but you don't know that.
Mm-mm.
He's like, I mean, I know everybody likes to think they're a badass, but dude, when someone's pointing a gun at you, you're a fucking screaming little child. You know what I mean?
Unless you have actual combat experience, you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Just because you watch a lot of movies, action movies, doesn't make you a superhero.
And then in 1987, there weren't, the only people that really had combat experience were the aging World War II veterans and the aging, Vietnam veterans.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then again, the Vietnam veterans were probably at 87. Say they were in the 20s and the 60s, so they're in their 40s at that point.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Some
were probably in their 50s. Yeah. And then the World War II veterans were a lot older than that.
And don't forget about Korea. There was that Korean War.
Oh, yeah,
World
Korea. War. We can't forget that war.
But, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's not like...
So he's arrested, and in July of 1989, his trial begins. The defense is looking for the insanity defense, and they're talking about the defense is trying to go with the everybody's trying to turn him gay defense.
Wow.
Well, if they hadn't tried to turn him gay. You know, if you're walking down the frickin' sidewalk in your neighborhood, you're not going to come across anybody that's trying to find you gay, you know, that's trying to turn you gay. If you happen to accidentally stumble into a gay bar in a new town, then you might have somebody trying to turn you gay. But you just either say, hey, I'm not interested, or you get up and you leave and go to another bar.
All right.
I mean, I've done that in towns. I've walked into, oh, this bar looks pretty cool. I get in and I realize, okay, this is not what I thought it was.
Yes.
So, hey, no worries. You just go. No harm, no foul, right?
Yeah.
So,
anyway.
The trial goes forward and everything, and on July 28th of 1989, he was sentenced to the electric chair plus 103 years.
So if old Sparky didn't get him, he still wasn't getting out.
Right. So, but I get it. I get why they do.
Oh, yeah.
You know, sentences like that, because like if you get a appeal on one thing, so one thing is struck down, well, you still got this other thing to do. It's like, so if Florida had done something to where they like did away with the death penalty, they still got this guy life in prison.
Yeah, he still has to be there for 100 years or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's good thinking on the prosecutor's part.
Yeah, and you'll see this a lot in cases that we do. It's like you'll have like, okay, life plus 6 additional life sentences. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But there is a method to that madness. It sounds stupid, but there's a reason they do it. Yeah. And that's just in case one thing gets appealed. You don't want a piece of shit like this getting back out.
No, you sure don't. We can't. I don't know. I mean, dude, it's still, it goes back to what you were saying earlier, though, I mean, it's like, they just need to get help.
Right. So this is kind of a short episode, so let's talk a little bit. Let's talk. What do you think about our criminal justice system in the United States?
I think it's flawed, but they do the best they can.
And I agree. But
I'm not pointing a finger at anyone in particular. I just think that the system itself is flawed. And I think the people that are, the lawyers and everybody, they do the best they can.
Well, like for example, all of these like people that are in jail or prison for minor drug offenses, like they had a little bit of weed on them.
Yeah,
they're doing 10 to 20 years for a little bit of weed. Meanwhile, there's a man who killed his wife or whatever. He's out after 3 years.
Yeah, well, I don't want to get like really political with it, but you know who to blame for that.
Yeah. And actually, it was Ronald Reagan and Nixon, because they're the ones that started this whole war on drugs thing, and it seemed like a good idea at the time, but looking back on it.
But that didn't change anything, though.
No, it didn't change anything at all. It didn't change anything at all. All it did was turn, decent people into criminals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally all it did. I mean, you get somebody that they look at drug offenses a lot more. Now, if you've got a suitcase full of fentanyl, then yeah, that guy needs, you need to go away for a long freaking time,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Because fentanyl can actually be used as a chemical weapon. So, but if you've got a bag of weed, when you're pulled over for jumping a stop sign or having a taillight out, and you happen to have a bag of weed in your car, there's no need for that. I mean, in Florida, having weed is decriminalized. It's still a crime, but it's not, you're not going to go to prison for a long time in Florida anymore. And in Florida, it's on the way to be, to being legalized completely. It's
not completely decriminalized. It's a misdemeanor now instead of a felony. Unless you have unless you have your medical marijuana card, then, but.
Right, then you're good.
Yeah.
But if you get pulled over for having a tail light out and they happen to notice there's, the smell of weed coming from the car, you're not going to jail for 20 years.
Well, no, they'll still get you for a DUI.
Oh, yeah, they'll still get you for a DUI, but if if you're stoned.
See, that's the thing, man. Like everybody, a lot of people that I know, a lot of these kids that I know that I work with are like, oh yeah, dude, when marijuana becomes legal here, I'm going to walk down the street smoking a joint. I'm going to do this. I'm like, no, you're not. Just because it's legal doesn't mean you can still do it in public. I mean, you can't walk, if you walk down the road drinking a beer, cops are going to pull you, stop you.
Right.
So it's like, dude, it's the same thing. It's like, dude, if you get pulled over and you're stoned out of your mind, whether it's legal or not, you're still getting a DUI.
Right. Well, riding a bike, you can get a DUI on a bicycle.
Dude, you can get a DUI on a skateboard.
Yeah, a skateboard, a boat. You can't really get a DUI for, walking drunk, but you can get
No, they'll arrest you for drunk in public, though.
Right. Drunk, yeah. Being drunk in public.
Public
intoxication.
What do they call it? Public intoxication, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just like, it's a slow grind, but, and I honestly used to be okay with all of these, it's just like, okay, somebody's got drugs, arrest them. I used to be brainwashed into that mindset about, the war on drugs is a great thing and all that stuff, but, as I got older, the more I thought about it, the more I started researching. I'm just like, you know what? This is wrong.
Dude, seriously, old Ronnie Reagan's war on drugs was the best thing to happen to drugs. Because he's like, oh, we're cracking down, and because dude, during the 80s, during Reagan's term and all the whole war on drugs, and just so you know, dude, more drugs are smuggled into the United States than ever before.
Right.
So it's like, okay, what's this war doing?
Because they're going after
popular.
They're going after the little people. They're not going after the kingpins and everything that are doing it. And you know what? We digressed, but we did it because we had the time to do it, and it's an interesting topic. And it's just this early into our podcast, I think we needed to kind of needed to clarify our stance on the war on drugs and all that stuff, because it's going to be that way going forward. I think marijuana should be legal. I'm actually kind of more along the lines with the libertarian standpoint. Just fucking legalize everything. That way you put the cartels out of business if you do that.
Oh yeah. But they're not going to do that.
No, they're not. But that's kind of where I'm.
For the very simple fact that the cartels they'll actually start a war. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, you're going to take all my money away from me? Fuck you. Let's go.
Yeah, could be. But if there's no market for their product anymore because you can get it at a dispensary for heroin or whatever. Right. And that's actually why I'm kind of okay with like in San Francisco they're giving out needles to people. I'm okay with that too, because at least you're not going to get AIDS or anything like that. Oh, using a dirty fucking needle. Right.
But yeah, here, homeless man, here's your heroin starter kit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, give them a clean needle. Don't give them the fucking heroin.
But no, they're doing that now too.
I know they are. They are. I was okay with the clean needles, not giving the fucking heroin.
Yeah.
If you want to give them heroin, then make it fucking legal so that they can just go buy it.
Get it on their own. Yeah.
Right.
Make them get a job and have to buy the shit. Stop giving free shit away, dude. Fuck, I ain't never got free shit in my life, man. I paid for everything.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Florida gets all the shit for being stupid when it's California and
I know,
Oregon
right?
and Washington and New York that have the most idiotic laws and everything. Okay, we're not going to turn this into a political discussion, you know.
Yeah, no, we're not. We're done with that. I'm stopping right here. I said what I had to say.
Right. No, we're war on drugs. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about William Cruse.
We were talking about William Cruse, and then we digressed. Mm-hmm. Like we're on the other podcast.
But it's a short episode, so it was a conversation that was bound to come up, so we do it on a short episode.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm fine with it, dude. You know me, bro. Yeah. I don't mind fucking digressing a little bit here and there. Shit.
Right.
Last night's episode was like 3 times longer than it needed to be. Because we just rambled for like an hour.
So, anyway. Back to the not gay William Cruse.
Yes.
Yeah, he wants you to know that he's not gay.
And we took over a Piggly Wiggly, right? Oh no, a wood ducky.
A wood ducky. September 1st of 1989, William Cruse appeals and he gets a Brady violation. The prosecutors apparently failed to turn over helpful evidence, which was psychiatric info about the fact that, the fact that he was mentally ill, that wasn't allowed into the defense, or wasn't allowed into the case. And the defense wasn't, the prosecutors didn't bring that in, and the defense wasn't able to cross-examine certain witnesses. But the appeal was denied. So, and he appealed quite a few more times, and then all denied, and then all of a sudden he went on a hunger strike.
Oh, dude, I forgot about that.
Oh, we've got a little surprise. How could you forget about it with the surprise that we've got at the end of this episode?
I don't know, dude. This all happened a long time ago, man.
Yeah, but the song is called I Want to Force Feed William Cruse.
I know what the song is called.
So, the judge actually orders force feeding, and which caused a friend of ours who in the 80s he had a band that was they're punk metal comedy band called Dead Serious. It's like Dead, and Serious is spelled Serios.
Yes.
And at the end of their shows, I mean, they have comedic songs like "No More Pipe for Potato Head," "Peanuts Are Evil,"
lawn care studs.
Lawn care studs. Just they were
fucking Chris would run around with a little plastic lawnmower. That's fucking great. I love that shit, dude. They were awesome, man. They still are. I mean, they still play. They're fucking great.
It's not Dead Serious anymore. It's DL Serious, which is the lead singer, Chris. Is Dead Lee Serious was his name.
Dead Lee.
But they shortened it to basically, it's a solo band, DL Serious. Yeah. So, he wrote this song, which we're going to play at the end of this episode, called I Want to Force Feed William Cruse. and just listen to the lyrics. It's funny. It's like he's pissed off because all of a sudden our hometown was, basically thrown into infamy on, world or nationwide news and everything because of this piece of shit, William Cruse, he's not gay.
Who's not gay? The band is from that area too, more or less. So
right, exactly. They're probably they are the most legendary band to come out of that area. So
most definitely.
Yeah, they were the band, back in the late 80s, they were the band, in early 90s, they were the band that every other local band wanted to be. Because they had it. They were firing on all cylinders. Yeah. They were incredible.
Yeah,
everybody wanted to be them.
Yeah, they were amazing. Well, I mean, dude, they still, I say they, but, it still is. I mean, dude, when Chris does that shit, dude, it's still funny. I mean, I've seen him, dude, and it's like it's 1992 all over again, and I'm just having a blast.
Oh, he's a great showman.
He's amazing, dude.
He's a great showman, and he's enigmatic. That's the best way to describe it. He's an enigma.
Yes, wrapped in a puzzle.
Yeah. So, and also on top of it, he's like a entertainment, reviewer and stuff like that. He still has a really strong presence and everything, and I'm going to post his links in this episode. And I'm going to post them in the episode description for the stuff that he writes is a really good read as well. So
definitely, yeah, his books and everything.
He has four books published. And then he also has a blog. I mean, I'll post links to all of that after I get done editing this episode. And then, but anyway, we had to, not only is this the first ever podcast about William Cruse, this is going to be the only one that talks about dead serious.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and at the end of their shows, they'd be like, and remember, we're not joking.
We're not joking.
We're
dead serious. And they have that delay on it and just let it go. Yeah, dude, that's
serious. God, their shows. God, they were incredible. All right, let's wrap this up. Get the hell out of here. So he's being force fed and he's on death row. He's he's in a cell for 23 hours a day. He only gets to shower every other day. No visitors came to see him. None of his family or anything like that. November 30th of 2009, he dies on death row of natural causes. So, I mean, he'd probably still be on death row if he hadn't died.
Wow, dude, he was on death row for like 20 years? 25 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Why didn't they fry his ass? I don't remember that. I thought he died like, I don't know. My brain just kind of went sideways.
No, he died in 2009. I remember it.
I'm not doubting you. I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying, it's like, dude, how do you stay on death row for 20 something years, dude? Just put him in the fucking chair and throw the switch.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that have been on death row for 20, 30, 40 years and stuff like that.
Well, dude, look at fucking Manson, dude. Jesus. Did he ever get the death penalty, or you just get life?
No, he died.
I know, but did he get?
He got life. He got life because it was California.
So he lived his life out in prison. I know he died not too long ago, but
anyway, wrapping this up, there's some, new information that I didn't know about that I found.
Oh.
Yeah. A like father, like son type of thing.
Ooh.
In 1978, William Cruse's father was jailed for shooting at a Kentucky prosecutor, and he was convicted of assault. Now, he didn't kill anybody, but he was shooting at a Kentucky prosecutor.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, like father, like son. Although the son basically outdid the father, but still. But, because remember earlier when I said that there wasn't a lot about his life as, growing up and everything?
Yeah.
Or early life or whatever? Well, he would have been an adult at 1978, so, okay, never mind. That doesn't have any. He would have already been an adult in 1978.
Yes.
So that doesn't have it. But still, it's just weird. He tries to take out, he tries to take out a freaking Kentucky prosecutor. And
right.
He was charged on assault. He wasn't charged for attempted murder, and which is kind of confusing to me, because you would think that if he tried to take out a prosecutor, it's just like, the ruling class doesn't like it when you mess with them.
Yes.
So the fact that he was just charged with assault, that's kind of confusing to me. But it is Kentucky, though.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, let's let's wrap this up and get the hell out of here, and I'm going to go to sleep.
All right, brother. Yeah, I think you deserve it.
So, our social on Facebook, it is CKC, no, that's Twitter. CKC_beer. And on Facebook, it's just, you just look up Crimes, Killers, Cults, and Beer podcast. And YouTube, it is BillZillaProd@gmail.com. And that you can also send us an email there if you want to send us an email. And you can, but that's also how you find our YouTube page.
Yes.
So.
And Insta is CKCAB 2022 on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, hit us up.
Check it out. Yep. And music part, your favorite part.
I'm gonna say it like you're proud of it, man. Yeah, I play in a 80s retro, cover band. We play all over Central Florida, so if you're ever in the Central Florida area, you can look us up on Facebook.
And you're all gonna take a vacation to Central Florida at some point in your life.
Right.
It's number one destination for everybody.
Yes.
So go see Todd's band.
Yes, it is Retroactive Daze, DAZE on Facebook. We have our schedule up, where we're playing and when. So if you're ever in the area and you make it to a show, come say hi to me. I might just buy you a beer.
Yeah, he's the bass player. Although
yes,
he's a pretty badass guitar player too. But he just plays bass in this band.
I'm a pretty good bass player too. I've gotten better at it.
Yeah, me too. Because
I'm no Geddy Lee or nothing, but I'm all right.
Ever since I started, playing bass to, when I started recording my own music as a solo musician, I've been getting better at bass as well. And mine is just look for Bill Selby on all platforms: iHeart, Spotify, YouTube. Yeah, it's all there. Yeah, you'll find it, and it's good heavy metal, power metal, thrash metal. My latest song is a beautiful ballad.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh like that. Because I laughed because you said it's all metal, and then that beautiful ballad.
So
that caught me off guard.
No, I just posted it last night. The Last Goodbye.
Yeah.
I finished it up and I got it posted.
Right on.
I dropped it. So anyway, thank you for listening. We really freaking appreciate it.
Yes.
And if your platform that you're listening on lets you give ratings and reviews and stuff, hook us up. I mean, we're not going to be like, come on, guys, say this, and this. No, we ain't going to do that. Just hook us up. I mean,
it's YouTube, right? Share and subscribe.
Right. And
that's what they say on YouTube.
Yeah, share and subscribe. We can also slap the like button.
Oh, we had to bring Davey 504 into it.
So, but yeah, we really do appreciate you listening to us. We have a good time doing this, and
yes, we do.
So,
anyway,
we're gonna take it out with some Dead Serious and their song "I Want to Force Feed William Cruse," and their information is going to be in the notes of this episode, along with our social links that we're going to post. So, next week, BTK Part 1.
BTK Part 1.
Whew. And you know what? After we do BTK, we're going to have to do a cult.
We are.
I mean, I don't know. I can't make up my mind which one I want to do. But
I mean, dude, because that's Manson. That's
I don't want to do Manson this early. I don't want to do Manson this early.
Oh no, I'm just saying, like, dude, I'm just trying to think of like all the cults I can think of right off the top of my head. You got Manson, you got James.
The Children of God, Children of God, the Anthill Kids.
God, you got what's the other one? Heaven's Gate. I mean, dude,
Heaven's Gate,
a ton.
The Anthill Kids.
Mm-hmm. The Anthill Kids.
Yeah, the Children of Thunder, not Thunder Midget.
I was about to say, I mean, dude, I know Kevin has kids, but dude, I didn't think it was a cult.
There's all sorts of different cults.
I only said that in case he listens.
Yeah, right. Obviously, the elephant in the room, Jim Jones.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Jonestown.
Oh, I said Jamestown. I meant Jonestown. Whatever.
Oh.
My bad. Anywho.
Oh, no. This thing with BTK is proving a lot more tedious as far as like the research and coming up with an outline that I thought that it was. So we might wait a couple more episodes on the cult. Do like a couple other serial killers or something like that.
A couple of simple ones.
Yeah, kind of like. Yeah, the only reason this episode. Yeah, the only reason that this episode is so long is because we threw in the drug talk. So.
Yeah, we digressed.
Yeah,
sort of. I mean, not really digressed, but it was. Yeah, I guess we kind of sidestepped a little bit, but hey, it is what it is.
But it was necessary. That conversation was coming at some point.
Yeah, no matter what. So
just get it out of the way on a short episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, we are out of here. We're gonna let our buddies Dead Serious take us out. We'll see you next episode where we start doing the piece of shit that's BTK, and we will see you then. Later.
Cheers. Enjoy the song, everybody.
William Cruse looks so fun on the news. What he did, it probably totally beat. Time to tell ya now we need the auto fry. Everybody knows he's trying to shove a cereal up his nose. Hey there, Bill, you sharp beat. Mommy says they'll make you eat. Hey there, Bill, you're hurt, pop. Hey there, Bill, we wish you luck. William Cruse, heard all about it on the news. Gotta pay his debt to society. Hey, William Hart, just listen to me. You ought to be dead, shot in the head. Let me shove it up his nose instead. Hey there, Bill, you sharp beat. Mommy says they'll make you eat. Hey there, Bill, you're hurt, huh? Hey there, Bill, we wish you luck. You're beat, Bill. You suck! You're beat, Bill. Good luck!